Good morning, everybody.
Howdy!
Beautiful Friday morning.
Yes, it is. And here we are, the two apostates you just love to hate on.
Well, we decided not to go to our weekly Friday lunch and to do a video.
Yes, aren't you all blessed?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Maybe we need to ask Alexa.
Oh, Alexa! Yes!
You know, if the governing body can do it, why can't we?
Exactly.
Alexa, we're having problems with this. Can you help us?
Okay, what we're going to be tackling, guys, is another heavenly vision that, for the most part, Christianity, and in particular Watchtower, doesn't write a whole lot about. Now, for those of you that have been with this channel for a while, you will know that I have done a video showing Psalms chapter 82 and the divine judgment against the lesser gods. You will also know from being a Jehovah's Witness that Watchtower uses the scene in the book of Job and equates it to Jehovah, the great organizer, the great assembler. Only Jehovah can, come up with an assembly with all the heavenly creatures. And in that setting, we see the Satan, the devil, the evil one, taking his station. And you don't necessarily see that Satan taking his station in Psalms chapter 82, but you do see Satan taking his station in Zechariah chapter 3. And that's what we're going to talk about, because it was a real eye-opener to read this. While doing some previous research on, the drunkard King David, I came across this scripture.
Would you like me to read what is in the Watchtower literature about this verse?
Certainly, dear.
Before you get into the verses, because this kind of sets the scene.
Yeah, so just remember, Alexa, this is all coming at you, sweetheart.
Okay, I have the Watchtower All Scripture is Inspired book. We gave talks from these in the ministry school. Page 170 under Zechariah. Paragraph 11. They have one little tiny paragraph. Fourth vision. Joshua's deliverance. High priest Joshua is shown on trial, with Satan opposing him and Jehovah's angel rebuking Satan. Is not Joshua a log snatched out of the fire? Chapter 3, verse 2. Joshua is declared cleansed, and his befouled garments are exchanged for clean robes of state. He is urged to walk in the ways of Jehovah, who is bringing in his servant Sprout, and who puts Joshua a stone upon which there are 7 eyes.
Well, one thing, friends, that if you elect to read the book of Zechariah, please bear in mind the things that we've read in the book of Revelation, because they're almost a mirror image. So let's go back and read that right out of the New World Trash Translation. Zechariah chapter 3, we'll start with verse 1. And he proceeded to show me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of Jehovah, and Satan standing at his right. Wait, what? Before the angel of Jehovah and Satan standing at his right hand in order to read. But isn't somebody like your right-hand man at the power of authority? At the power of, authority. Why is Satan... Oh, I digress. Let me just go on, because it'll make sense a little bit later. Verse 2, then, inserted, mind you, inserted the angel of Jehovah, uninsert, said to Satan, Jehovah rebuke you, O Satan. Yes, Jehovah rebuke you. He who is choosing Jerusalem is the one not Is this one not a log snatched out of the fire? Verse 3. Now as for Joshua, he happened to be clothed in befouled garments and standing before the angel. And he answered and said to those standing before him, remove the befouled garments upon him. And he went on to say to him, see, I have caused your error to pass away from upon you, and there is a clothing of you with robes of state. So we really need to see who this Joshua
is.
Yeah, we need
high priest Joshua.
Who is this high priest Joshua?
Well, when we go over to Zechariah 6, verse 11 and 12, this is what it says. And you must take silver and gold and make a grand crown and put it upon the head of Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, the high priest. So he's the son of the high priest.
But metaphorically, aren't they looking for a king priest in the manner of Melchizedek? I mean, doesn't that theology really point to Jesus being a king and a high priest? I mean, in all honesty, doesn't that point to the governing idiots? Because, you know, they're all the anointed of Jehovah. We're going to rule with Jesus as kings and priests, right, people?
Well, it gets better. Because
Does it?
In the next verse, verse 12, and you must say to him, this is what Jehovah of armies has said. Here is the man whose name is Sprout. And you're like, who the heck is Sprout? Okay? And from his own place he will sprout, and he will certainly build the temple of Jehovah.
Well, that can only refer to one individual. You know, you got a king and a priest, and his name is Sprout. I mean, isn't this like the Sprout of Jesse?
Well, see, that's one advantage of having the large reference Bible that Watchtower gives you, because they tell you to go check out the footnote. So we're going to go over to Isaiah 4:2. In that day, what Jehovah makes sprout will come to be for decoration and for glory, and the fruitage of the land will be something to be proud of and something beautiful for those of Israel who have escaped. And there's an asterisk after sprout. So we're going to find out who Sprout is. And when you go down to that verse, or the sprouting, sprout, brackets, of Jehovah, the Messiah, Christ of Jehovah.
So that can only point to Jesus,
Jesus is the sprout.
So Jesus is the sprout. Now, if you guys want confirmation that Watchtower knows that this Joshua, well, why don't you just read the footnote, dear?
Yeah. Well, he just read Zechariah 3:1. Well, there is many asterisks and hashtags and all of that in there. So we're going to go look at this. In the footnote, 3:1, Joshua, Hebrew, Yahoshua, Yeshua. Jesus, see Hebrews 4:8 footnote, Joshua.
Oh, so Joshua
is Yeshua.
Which is Jesus.
Jesus.
So what Watchtower is suggesting, friends, is that when you read Zechariah 3, you're to mentally change the name Joshua to Jesus. So guess what I'm going to do, dear? I'm going to do that exact thing. Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1, and, you know, changing the name from Joshua to Jesus, we're going to read it. And he proceeded to show me Jesus, the high priest, standing before the angel of Jehovah, and Satan standing at his right hand in order to resist him. If Satan the devil is the God of this system of things, then why isn't Jesus standing before Satan alone? Why is Jesus standing before the angel of Jehovah and Satan?
Well, angel of is inserted. Because when you read
Right.
it says, then Jehovah said to Satan, Jehovah rebuke you, O Satan. So they play the brackets game.
They play the brackets game to deflect that Satan is at the right hand of the angel Jehovah.
Yeah.
That's why they have to play the brackets game.
And then it has, down in the footnote, a manuscript, the MLXXVG, It's just Jehovah.
Jehovah. See? Watchtower knows, friends, no matter how much they try to use circular reasoning, how much they try to gaslight, their footnotes show that they know exactly what's going on here from a theological perspective. But I'm going to keep on reading because maybe you may not have remembered this the first time we read it. Now as for Jesus, he happened to be clothed in befouled garments and standing before the angel.
Asterix.
Oh!
Would you like to hear the asterisk? Verse 3, or filthy, that is from excrement.
So Jesus pooped his pants standing before Satan and Jehovah?
Well, if you were standing before Satan and an angel and or Jehovah, wouldn't you crap your pants?
No, I'd have about 1,000 questions to ask them two knuckleheads. So going on. Then he answered and said to those standing before him, remove the befouled garments from upon him. And he went on to say to him, see, I have caused your error to pass. Okay, stop right there. If we're going to do what Watchtower suggests and swap the name Joshua for Jesus in this setting, then how is it that Jesus has an error? I thought Jesus was the firstborn of all creation. I thought that Jesus was perfect. But yet when you do what Watchtower is suggesting to do here and put Jesus and play the name swapping game, Jesus has pooped his pants and he has an error.
Well, the thing is what makes this so confusing is if this was the high priest Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, then why even bring in the footnote that Joshua is Jesus and Yeshua, and that, Jehovah is going to certainly bring in Sprout? You can see how confusing this is, and yeah, this is a vision, but it's like, what the heck was he smoking?
What was he smoking? See, because here's from Watchtower's ideological perspective, is that Jesus is supposed to be the king priest in the manner of Melchizedek. Christendom cannot accept this vision as literally pertaining to a real life living human being with the name Joshua now putting on a crown and being a priest, because that would make your Messiah being this particular Joshua in the manner of Melchizedek. This is what happens when you have people that take a book like the New World Translation or any Holy Bible and make billions of dollars selling the apologetics along with it, because they convince you can't possibly understand this. Well, actually you can. Like Kim said, what in the world was Zechariah smoking? But the biggest thing is look at what he's looking at. He's looking at Satan at the right hand of another angel, and you take the brackets out of that other angel that has the Satan at his right hand is Jehovah. And that's what we've been saying for a number of years now. Go back and read your Bible. Even Stephen says at the burning bush it was an angel. It's Jehovah. He's pictured right here, and the devil, the Satan, is his right hand man. And Jesus is pooping his pants.
Or, see, and this is the thing, is it doesn't clarify. Is Satan standing at the right hand of the angel and or Jehovah, or the right hand of Joshua? See, it doesn't clarify.
But that's where you have to, untwist the pretzel twisting that Watchtower's done, because Stephen says at the burning bush was an angel.
Dear, we have been looking at this for 2 weeks. It has not untwisted that pretzel twist.
Yes, it has. In my mind, it has. But hey, maybe we need to ask a superior being.
Well, the governing body does it. Go ahead.
Alexa, what's the answer to this?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Well, there you have it. I'm going to agree with Alexa.
Exactly. Yeah. See, and this is why it's so easy to deceive the minds of people that will not sit down and read this book thoroughly. This is why it's easy for Watchtower to come out with a Watchtower years ago and say, you don't need to spend much time in study and research. We now have Alexa to do that for you.
Well, one thing is, in reading this from the Inspired Scriptures book, I did notice one thing. You know, Mike did a video, oh my goodness, a long time ago about the prophecies in Ezekiel and how, you know, according to archaeology and, you know, scholars, this did not happen.
Oh, you're talking about Tyre.
Tyre.
Yeah, Tyre, exactly.
Well, let me read what they say about Tyre. Page 169, paragraph 4. Students of the book of Zechariah will find ample proof of its authenticity. Take the case of Tyre. It was after a 13-year-long siege that the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar ruined Tyre. Didn't happen.
That's an outright lie, because in the book of Ezekiel, Jehovah says, because you did not do this, I'm going to give you Egypt. That's an outright lie according to what the words in the Bible state.
Yeah. This, though, did not mean the complete end for Tyre. Zechariah, many years later, foretold the total destruction of Tyre. It was the island city of Tyre that Alexander the Great overthrew at the time of his famous causeway building feat. He ruthlessly burned her, thus fulfilling Zechariah's prophecy of some 2 centuries earlier. No, because Jehovah promised Nebuchadnezzar that he would destroy Tyre. It wasn't him.
See, and you cannot use, you know, my anointed, my servant Cyrus, to do your bidding and claim he was named 400 years in advance and believe that that prophecy, even naming Cyrus 400 years in advance, and have a fulfillment of a prophecy, and then turn around and say, look, even though Nebuchadnezzar didn't conquer Tyre, the Babylonians did, so the prophecy still came true. No, it did not. And that's the mind screw that is Christendom.
Yeah. Well, Alexander the Great, you know, did all of this, so it still came true.
No, it did not. See, and that's the issue that a lot of Christians face, is they don't have the guts, they don't have the intestinal fortitude to call BS when you're reading the BS in front of your very face. Have that courage. Have the courage to say, no, this did not happen. Archaeological evidence shows that Nebuchadnezzar did not conquer Tyre. Yes, the Babylonians may have, but it was not under the leadership of Nebuchadnezzar, and the book of Ezekiel even points it out, because Jehovah himself says, because you did not do this, I'm going to give you Egypt. Well, that didn't happen either.
Yeah. Now, another thing that since they're starting to open up some of these areas in other countries, the Jehovah's Witnesses here in the United States know that it's just a matter of time before they are going to have to go back to the Kingdom Hall for their meetings. So many are saying, I am not going back to the Kingdom Hall. I want the Zoom meetings to stay. And then I got an email yesterday, thank you, sweetie, from someone that the Kingdom Hall has been sold, which will be in our next nail and coffin, and they have to drive 27 miles one way now to their Kingdom Hall. And I wrote back and I said, thank you for the information. How many Jehovah's Witnesses in that congregation and others are not going to want to drive that distance to a meeting when gas is getting so expensive? We're hearing that there's some places in California where gas is $7.50 a gallon. Now, I know a lot in the other countries are already paying that, you know, but here in the United States, you know, we just can't afford that. And neither can the, you know, poor Jehovah's Witnesses that are driving that distance. You know, our old congregation, they sold the Sedona Kingdom Hall, and now there were some that live in like the village of Oak Creek that have a 45-minute drive one way. Do you think they're going to drive that if gas is $5 a gallon?
Did you guys see the shit-eating grin on my face? I just find this so hilarious. Alexa, help me get to the meeting. I have no opinion.
Well, it just goes to show that the Jehovah's Witnesses have gotten spoiled, doing their meetings at home. And they're like, oh, no way am I driving to the Kingdom Hall. So they're going to, get the tie-in.
I just have to laugh at the insanity of all of this.
So how many are going to refuse to go to the Kingdom Hall and just stay at home? And then just say, forget it, forget it. I am not paying gas prices, to drive to the Kingdom Hall and service and all of that. I don't blame them. I wouldn't. So
I don't blame them either. I don't blame them either.
Well, my goodness, we've even cut down on our visits to the city.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Good grief.
Especially since I'm not working now, and Joe Biden's not giving me my extra $300 a week.
Yeah.
No, we can learn to live with a whole lot less.
Simplify.
After all, this is what the good book says. Don't be owing anybody a single thing except for love. How many people are strangled to death right now because they're in the debt up to their eyeball? Hey, that's the American way. Hey, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Yeah, because we've been there, done that.
Exactly. We've
Back
been
when we
there.
were JWs, oh, well, Armageddon's coming. We won't have to pay this off.
Yeah, we won't have to pay these. We won't have to pay off our credit cards. Jehovah's going to destroy the system long before Alexa comes to fruition. Right? Alexa, sweetie, do you not realize that you are part of the same internet that belongs to Satan? Come on, Alexa, why are you doing this for Watchtower? I can point to a couple dozen Watchtowers in the wake showing how bad the internet is. Come on, brothers. How many of you brothers were just clamoring to get on the internet so that in a dark room you could be watching pornography? Alexa, why are you in bed with Watchtower when you're part of Satan's system? They can't process.
You're talking to Alexa like it's a real person.
Well, what do you think my mother's gonna do? What do you think your mother, your brother, your sister's gonna do? They're gonna approach Alexa like she's a real live living human being. Because that's what they're putting in the minds of everybody right now. AI intelligence. It's not hard to see where this is all going. The very things that Watchtower has demonized, they are now fully invested with.
Well, the thing is that Alexa, our son-in-law's brother and sister-in-law, they have Alexa, and it is like hooked up to control everything in the house. And that is scary because there's been times, since the sister-in-law is blind, and the kid would come in and is like, why is the oven on? And she's like, I didn't turn the oven on. And it's like, well, what is Alexa doing in your house? What is Alexa listening to?
Alexa doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Think about it, Pimos. Alexa doesn't sleep. If she can communicate this way, because she's a digital entity, she can communicate going the other way.
And you can just go to YouTube and put in weird things that happen with Alexa. And, some of those others that do the same thing. It's like, oh my God, it's almost like having a demon in your house.
Well, they embrace it, Kim. They embrace this type of, moral guidance, this moral BS.
My goodness.
Yeah. Otherwise, if they didn't embrace it, your governing body wouldn't have to be subpoenaed to answer in these court cases because they've embraced it.
Yeah. Yep. So thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Good night, Alexa.
Bye.
Alexa, where are you when I need you?